Today, we will learn about Model Context Protocol, or MCP. In this video, we will dive into everything you need to know about MCP, what it is, why it matters, who it's for, and how it differs from traditional APIs. Also, what we can build with it, who is supporting it, and the business value it delivers. Whether you're a developer looking to connect your AI applications to external data or tools, a business leader exploring AI integration options, or someone interested in where AI technology is headed, this video will give you a comprehensive understanding of MCP and its value in AI adoption. By the end of the video, you will know the details of how Model Context Protocol is already transforming what developers, businesses, and users can accomplish with AI systems. The promise of the Model Context Protocol is a world where AI can seamlessly connect to any tool, any data source, and any API without custom code for each integration. Where AI assistants can access real-time information, control applications, and interact with our data, all through a standardized interface that just works. At its core, MCP is an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to large language models, or LLMs. Think of MCP like a USB-C port for AI applications. Just as a USB-C allows different devices to connect through a standardized interface, MCP creates a universal way for AI models to connect with tools, data sources, and services. Before MCP, if we wanted our AI assistant to access our calendar, query a database, or control our browser, we would need custom integrations for each tool. Each one required different code, different maintenance, and different security considerations. It was a fragmented, inefficient approach that limited what AI could actually do in real-world scenarios. MCP solves this with a client-server architecture that has several key components. First, we have MCP hosts. These are programs like Claude Desktop, our IDE like VS Code or Cursor, or any AI tool that wants to access external data through MCP. These hosts connect to MCP clients and maintain one-to-one connections with servers. The MCP servers are lightweight programs that expose specific capabilities through the standardized protocol. These servers can connect to local data sources like our computer's files and databases, or to remote services over the internet. The value of this architecture is in its simplicity and flexibility. An AI assistant can connect to multiple MCP servers at the same time, accessing different tools and data sources through a consistent interface. There are 4 key benefits of MCP that make it a game changer for AI integration. MCP offers standardization. It creates a common language for AI applications to communicate with external tools and data sources. This means developers can build once and connect to many different AI systems. MCP implements best practices for securing data within our infrastructure. Since data doesn't need to leave our environment to be processed, we maintain control over sensitive information. Another key benefit is flexibility. With MCP, we are not logged into a single LLM provider. We can switch between different AI models and vendors without rewriting our integrations. MCP offers a growing list of pre-built integrations that LLMs can just directly plug into. This means we can leverage existing tools rather than building everything from scratch. I will show you how to add an existing MCP server into your IDE. Right now, I'm in my Cursor IDE. To add an MCP server, I'm going to go to my Settings, Cursor Settings, and navigate to the MCP tab, where I can add a new global MCP server. Here, you can see that there is an mcp.json file. In this file, you will add configurations for all of the MCP servers that you want to add. An example of how this looks like is this. Here, you can see that we're adding a GitHub MCP server and indicating the commands for how it's run, where it also requires a GitHub Personal Access Token to be connected to your account. This token you can get from your GitHub profile under the Personal Tokens settings. After this configuration is added, we can see that we have a new GitHub MCP server added with a lot of tools available for use. To test it out, we can ask Cursor Chat to create a new GitHub repository, and it will use the new MCP server and the tools that are available through it to do it. We're doing it in plain English, and Cursor and MCP are collaborating to create the new repository for us without having to execute any CLI commands or going into the GitHub UI. The repository has been created and the MCP server has done its job. To use and implement MCP in practice, there is a spectrum of options depending on your technical expertise. For developers who are comfortable with code, there are SDKs available in many languages, including Python, TypeScript, Java, and C#, and also many more languages. These give you the full control over how you implement MCP in your applications. And for those with less coding experience, no-code and low-code options are coming out. I showed you how to add an existing MCP server into your IDE. You may want to create your own custom MCP server for some purposes. There are quite a few examples of how to do it. One of them is from Model Context Protocol GitHub organization, where you can see an example of a weather MCP server. It uses the fast MCP library, and it defines a couple of MCP tools. Each of them is annotated with mcp.tool and defines certain logic. For example, get alerts or get forecast when we're talking about weather updates. After you've written your MCP server, you can add it to your MCP config JSON file the same way we've done it for a pre-existing server. You just need to specify the right command to run your server. When we're using an AI assistant to help with data analysis with MCP, our AI assistant can connect to our database through an MCP server, run real-time queries based on our natural language questions, and visualize the results, all without sending our sensitive data to external APIs. It really bridges the gap between AI's reasoning capabilities and the real-world tools and data that make those capabilities really useful. To truly understand MCP, we need to know how it differs from traditional APIs, which have been the standard way of connecting software systems for decades. Traditional API integration comes with a couple of challenges. For each API we want to integrate, we need to write specific code that understands that API's unique structure, authentication methods, and data formats. This creates a development burden. Then there is maintenance. APIs change over time, endpoints get deprecated, parameters change, and new features get added. Each change requires updates to our integration code, creating an ongoing maintenance burden that grows with each new API we add. Documentation inconsistencies are another headache. Some APIs are well documented, while others are not. Some follow standards like OpenAPI, others use custom formats. This inconsistency makes it really hard to build reliable integrations. As APIs evolve, we need to ensure our code works with both older and newer versions, adding complexity to our integration logic. MCP takes a fundamentally different approach to these challenges. Instead of requesting custom code for each integration, MCP provides a standardized interface across all tools. This means we write our integration code once, and it works with any MCP-compatible server. Unlike traditional APIs, which are typically passive services that are waiting for requests, MCP has agent-centric execution model. This means AI agents can actively decide which tools to use, in what order, and how to chain them together to accomplish tasks. MCP also enables dynamic tool discovery and selection. An AI agent can explore available tools, understand their capabilities through standardized descriptions, and choose the most appropriate ones for a specific task, all of it without hard-coded integration logic. Another aspect of MCP servers is that they are self-documenting. They expose their capabilities, parameters, and expected outputs in a standardized format that both humans and AI can understand. This eliminates the documentation inconsistency problem, which is relevant for traditional APIs. More specifically, if we're building an AI assistant that needs to check our calendar, create a meeting, and send invitations, with traditional APIs, we need to write custom code for the calendar API, write more custom code for the email API, hard code the logic for how these steps connect, handle authentication for each service separately, and maintain all of this code as the APIs evolve. With MCP, we would connect a calendar MCP server, we would connect an email MCP server, let the agent determine the workflow based on the user request, use standardized authentication methods, and receive benefit from automatic updates as the service evolves. The difference is significant. Less code, less development time, more flexibility, and a system that can adapt to new requirements without extensive rewrites. This fundamental shift from custom, brittle integrations to a standardized, flexible protocol is what makes MCP such a breakthrough for AI adoption. Now that we understand MCP and how it differs from traditional APIs, let's explore what's possible and who can benefit from this powerful technology. For developers, MCP significantly enhances developer productivity and code quality. With context-aware assistance, we can directly query databases like Postgres from our IDE using natural language. So this helps us avoid context switching. For example, we can ask, show me all the users who signed up in the last week but haven't completed their profiles. And this becomes a simple, very immediate interaction. We can also simplify testing and debugging. Browser automation servers like Selenium MCP can translate natural language instructions to automated browser tests. For example, test the checkout flow with a new user account. With MCP, we're able to automatically generate detailed documentation from our code, comments, commit history, and live application state, keeping documentation accurate and synchronized. MCP also standardizes integrations, enabling connections with GitHub, databases, testing frameworks, and deployment pipelines through one unified protocol that helps with development and maintenance tasks. For businesses, companies benefit from MCP by simplifying complex business automation and analytics. Using MCP with Google Calendar and Google Meet, AI Assistant can automate scheduling meetings, manage room bookings, and coordinate participant availability directly through Slack or email. BigQuery MCP servers allow users without SQL knowledge to perform data analysis using natural language. For example, how did our March advertisement perform compared to February? Tools like Slack and Google Docs MCP servers automatically summarize discussions, extracting key insights into structured documents like meeting notes or strategy outlines. MCP standardization prevents vendor lock-in, allowing businesses to integrate with various AI solutions and easily switch providers without major re-architecture. MCP also continues to expand into new and innovative use cases. In multi-agent systems, MCP provides a common protocol for multiple specialized agents to collaborate effectively on complex tasks. With enhanced browser automation, MCP-enabled Selenium servers allow AI-driven web interactions, performing tasks like form submissions and data extractions with human-like accuracy. Tools like Blender MCP empower AI to create and modify complex 3D models based just on the natural language, opening new possibilities for design and content creation. Since MCP gained significant support when it was first introduced by Anthropic, the ecosystem is growing really fast. Anthropic, as the creator, leads the charge with deep integration in their Claude models and Claude desktop application. OpenAI announced support for MCP in their Agents SDK, bringing this protocol to their development ecosystem. Google is adding MCP support to Gemini models in SDK and Agent Development Kit. Microsoft has integrated MCP into Copilot Studio, which allows enterprise customers to connect AI assistants to custom data sources and tools. VS Code supports MCP and other specialized AI coding tools like Cursor and Klein were early adopters as well. GitHub launched its official MCP server with integration with GitHub APIs for repository management, issue tracking, and code review. There are quite a few platforms adopting MCP. For example, Circle CI has launched their MCP server that allows AI assistants to interact with build and deployment pipelines. And just recently, the observability platform Honeycomb released their own MCP. Community contributions are growing really fast. Developers are creating MCP servers for everything from database access to creative tools to IoT device control. We are seeing support from major AI companies, development tool providers, infrastructure platforms, and individual developers. We've learned what MCP is, who it's for, and how it differs from APIs, what we can build with it, and who is supporting it. Now, let's focus on the most important question for many organizations. What's the business value of implementing MCP? The business case for MCP can be broken down into three main categories: reduced integration costs, enhanced AI capabilities, and strategic advantages. Let's start with reduced integration costs. Traditional API integration require custom code for development for each new tool and service we want to connect to our AI systems. This means significant developer time and resources for each integration. With MCP, we implement the protocol once, and then we can connect to any MCP-compatible server without additional custom code. This dramatically reduces the initial development cost for each new integration. Maintenance becomes simpler too. When APIs change or update, traditional integrations often break and require fixes. With MCP, servers can evolve while maintaining the same standardized interface and reducing the ongoing maintenance costs. And time to market accelerates significantly. Instead of spending weeks or months building custom integrations, we can connect to new tools and data sources in hours or days, allowing us to deliver new capabilities to users much faster. Beyond cost savings, MCP has improved AI capabilities that create real business value. Real-time data access is important. Instead of relying on training data that might be months or years old, AI assistants can access current information through MCP servers. This means more accurate responses, better recommendations, and more relevant insights. Tool-augmented intelligence takes AI beyond simple question answering to actually improving and performing tasks. An AI assistant can not only tell us about our schedule, but also create meetings, send emails, and update project plans. That is exponentially more valuable. When an AI assistant understands our specific data, tools, and workflows, it can provide personalized assistance that generic models can't match. MCP also offers strategic advantages that position organizations for long-term success in AI. By adopting a standardized protocol, we avoid being locked into a specific vendor or technology that may become obsolete or uncompetitive. Vendor flexibility gives us negotiating power and allows us to choose the best tools for each specific need, rather than being constrained by compatibility concerns. And ecosystem participation connects us to a growing network of innovations. As new MCP servers and capabilities are appearing every day, we can quickly adopt them without major architectural changes. When considering the return on investment for MCP, there are several key factors to weigh in. Implementation costs can vary depending on existing infrastructure and complexity of our needs. For simple integrations using existing MCP servers, the cost can be quite low. For custom server development or enterprise-wide deployment, the investment will be higher, but typically still less than building and maintaining multiple custom integrations. Productivity gains often provide the most immediate ROI. Users spend less time switching between tools, searching for information, or performing repetitive tasks. These efficiency improvements can be substantial, especially for knowledge workers and developers. Competitive differentiation can be the most valuable benefit in the long run. Organizations that effectively leverage MCP can create AI experiences that are more capable, more personalized, and more integrated than their competitors, leading to better customer experiences and stronger market positions. If you're interested in exploring MCP for your own projects, there are plenty of resources available to help you get started. The official MCP documentation is at modelcontextprotocol.io, and it is the best place to get started. The site includes tutorials, examples, and best practices to guide you through MCP. GitHub is another valuable resource. The MCP organization hosts repositories with reference implementations, SDKs in various languages, and example servers. Now you know about MCP, what it is, why it matters, and what you can build with it. You also know about the business value it delivers. We can summarize a few key points. MCP is an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to large language models. It creates a universal way for AI models to connect with tools, data sources, and services, like a USB-C port for AI applications. MCP provides a standardized interface across all tools and embraces an agent-centric execution model that helps with dynamic tool discovery and selection. The use cases for MCP span developer workflows, business automation, enterprise implementations, and emerging applications like multi-agent systems and creative tools integration. The business value of MCP comes from reduced integration costs, improved AI integration capabilities, and strategic advantages that position organizations for long-term success in AI adoption. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Your reality has changed. You're stuck in your career. You're either using AI or being used. Do you still believe success is guaranteed? You feel it's time to wake up. Old strategies don't work anymore. Welcome to the real world. It will never be the same again. You need to fight for your future. Learn to spot truth from lies. I will help you. Together, we will win.